Hi, this is Matthew, and I talk about the next album in Chicago's albums. Going to 1970 for what was then just called Chicago. They shortened their name from the Chicago Transit Authority to Chicago since the actual transit authority threatened to sue them. So they changed their name to Chicago. This album is called just Chicago, but later on, because they started numbering them after this, it's Chicago 2. Which I'll make some indication on that when I write out the name for my boss to upload. Again, this is another double album. Amazing for a band that had not been really known so far. This is the first commercially successful one. It gets number 4 here in the US, number 6 in the UK, which is great. Lots of great songs on it. Several big hits on this thing. I guess 3 kind of sequential sort of things that all go together. And then they're separate songs. They go together. Really great stuff. Again, of course, great playing by everybody, and definitely I guess the right energy isn't there, but it's still a really good album, and they really kind of planned it a bit more. They were still kind of nervous in the studio, but they had more of a plan going in, kind of to how they wanted it to be, and what they wanted it to sound like a bit. So yeah, really good stuff. Very enjoyable. It's hard to believe that a band that's so new, people don't quite know them. But they got 2 double albums to their name already, and they'll have a 3rd coming up. Spoiler. Because I only know that because I own 3 on vinyl. I got it from a guy had some vinyl he didn't need anymore, and so I took that one. And I do have it, and it's a double, so that's the only reason I know that 3 is a double. I think there's singles from that point onwards, but we're still in the doubles, and we actually have our first Peter Cetera vocals on this one. We'll go through it here. Really good stuff. Again, really pretty things in different places, strings, and all kinds of fun stuff. Give it a listen for sure. Let me go look at our track listing here. On side 1, we start with we begin with Moving In. James Pankow, the trombonist, wrote that one, sung by Terry Kath. And then we have The Road, written by Terry Kath and singing by Peter Cetera. And then we have Poem for the People. Robert Lamb wrote that, the keyboardist. Peter Cetera, of course, plays bass. Lamb and Cetera sing it. And then In the Country, Terry Kath wrote that one, and Kath and Cetera sing it. And we're on to side 2 now. Then we start with Wake Up Sunshine, written by Robert Lamb. Lamb and Cetera sing it. And then we have Ballet for a Girl. This is our first kind of joined sequence here. Oh, yeah, Ballet for a Girl in Buchanan is the whole piece, which is 13 minutes. But this is... let's see the list of the songs here. Make Me Smile. And then that's James Pankow. Terry Kath sings it. And then we have So Much to Say, So Much to Give is the second. These all run together. Robert Lamb wrote it. It doesn't say who sings it, but it should be him. And then we have Anxiety's Moment. Because Pankow wrote everything. And then we jump to West Virginia Fantasies. Color My World, that was a big hit, of course, which honestly I had not heard until I saw them in concert. For some reason I missed that one in my oldies listening and such. I don't know how I missed that one, but I it was fixed immediately, of course, but a great one. And then we go To Be Free, and then Now More Than Ever. Terry Kath wrote that one. Then we jump to side 3. I think that was the whole movement, I believe. And that ends the side, it looks like. And then we have Fancy Colors, which is great. Robert Lamb wrote that one, and Satira sings it, of course. "25 or 624, that great song. Written by, doesn't say who wrote that one. Kath, maybe? And it appears Satira sings it. Doesn't show that here. The Memories of Love is the next little section of music here. Prelude, and then we have AM Morning, PM Morning. There's a sequence here. Memories of Love. Terry Kath wrote that one and sang it. Then we go to side 4, because all these little movements these movement type things take a while, but you get a few in between that aren't these combined things. Then we have our last little combined bit here. I believe it's, let's see, where is that? It is called, we end with It Better End Soon, which is kind of a political thing that Robert Lamb wrote, I believe. First movement, and then Robert Lamb wrote that one. Terry Kath sings it. Very much a political type thing here. Second movement, Robert Lamb and Walter Perezader, the drummer. They wrote that one, and vocals by I forget who that's by at the moment. Third movement is next. That is Lamb and Kath, with Terry Kath on the vocals. This chart reads really weird. Sorry, guys. Wikipedia is weird today. Fourth movement, with Robert Lamb wrote it, and no vocals listed. And where we go from here is next, written by Peter Cetera, and he also sings it. That should be, I think it's the whole, that's the whole side. And then in a later one, they expanded it and added the singles for 25 or 624 and Make Me Smile were the two. But reverse the way I said them. And then there was a remix version in 2017. Everything just sounds weird in the remix. I don't like where things are placed. I guess I'm a big fan of some remixes that apparently have more surround channels than I have access to with the AirPods, because it just doesn't sound right to my head. So, I'm not sure. Our band members, of course, are going to be Peter Cetera, bass and vocals, Terry Kath on guitars and vocals, Robert Lamb on keyboards and vocals, Lily Lune on trumpet and vocals, James Pankow on trombone, go James, Walter Perezader on saxophone, flute, clarinets, woodwinds. Sorry, that's right. The drummer's a different guy. Perezader is all of the flute, clarinet, woodwinds stuff. Danny Seraphine, sorry, that's the drummer. Seraphine, drums and percussion. I forget how to say his name. And that is it. No additional people are here for this one. James William Garcia was the producer. He did the first 11 albums. We'll see his name again. And Peter Matz on orchestration on the prelude. There's some really nice strings on the prelude, and some other stuff. Donald Pillus, engineer. Brian Ross Meyering, engineer. Chris Henshaw, engineer. Nick Ficino, cover art. This is the first time they used that cursive logo. Probably the Coca-Cola logo inspired them to do this. So the first time that cool logo was used, they used the rest of the time. So that iconic cursive logo they have of the band name. John Berg, cover design, green photography and poster photos. The O2 reissue. Park Lindbergh remixed it. John Kellogg remixed, producer. Joe Gasworth remastering. David Wild was the liner notes. I don't know what those are. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, I have at least one compilation that's a Rhino set that this back in '02 when they got the catalog onto Rhino. They did a lot of reissuing of stuff, and I remember seeing all that stuff at the time, but knowing I didn't have endless amounts of funds and couldn't get everything, so I looked though. And that is it. Really good second album. There was no sophomore slump for these guys. No. They did not have one of those, I don't think. I know some bands do, but they did not. They kept going. Making great stuff. These guys were very impactful to my music growing up. Probably my second favorite band other than the Beatles. This might be my second favorite band ever. So, plus I play trombone and brass instruments, and yeah, it's great. There's jazz, there's rock, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. Political, non-political, some love songs, great instrumental stuff. If you like improv, there's a little bit of that. There's pretty flutes and clarinets, and there's even a tuba at one point. Yeah, some neat stuff, instrumental-wise, some little chimes going on, other guitars. Yeah, just neat. The drums still sound great. Yeah, they always had nice drums these first two albums. I don't know what they did, but there's a neat sound to the drums. I don't know exactly how they got that. But Danny Seraphine has some nice drums going on. I don't know exactly how they accomplished the sound they made, but some of this was 8-track. So, I'm not sure, but yeah, very, again, enjoyable. No sophomore slump for these guys. Go check it out. It's very, 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 very good. That's all I can really say about it. But then we'll move next time tonight. I'm not sure when did Chicago 3 come out. Let me double check that. I haven't checked. I think it's... I think it's 71, I think. Let me double check it. It is... Let's see here. Didn't check that. It is... Yeah, 71. Okay. Yep. Okay. I thought it was 71, so I was correct. So we'll move on to 71 and do Chicago 3 and have another double album of material. I think this one is even more experimental than even like the first one was, and even 2. But there are still hits from it, so we will move on to it next time, and I will see you guys in another video.